Oh, good. Oh, wonderful. It's always so exciting when this works. This is noon on October 6th, and welcome to my world. I'm going to go over these trades in crude oil this morning because this is, this is back to the good old days. This is so nice. It just makes me, whatever it is, we want to hire this bus driver. We want this one. Hopefully we'll have this one for the rest of the year. But I'm going to go back over this because I know there are people who started this in August, and I'm telling you, August was really tough. Summer usually is, but not as bad as that. Anyway, this morning, I took these institutional zones and the ice zones off of this main chart that I like to use. But this chart for me lays everything out so easy and the rules become so simple just using the apex and some of these, what I call the streets. But this morning, what we had early in the morning, let me show you this. I'll try to get my pointer here so you can see this. This morning, when we started, what we had was we knew that we had green apexes. We've had green apexes. Crude oil has not given us any red apexes for a couple, 3 sessions here. So with the E forming down here, could we have taken that? Yes, but you'd have to be up at 3:30 or 4 in the morning. And so that counted me out. But just about the time, at least I'm ready to fire up my computer, is right around 7:30 or so. And you see this coming off of here through settlement. Just the other side of settlement, what do we have? We have a magnet. So if you took this from this magnet with the idea that you were going to just scalp 30 ticks off of it or 20 ticks off of it, but this was 46.30 to 46.60. 30 ticks in crude oil, it doesn't have to move that far. And when it goes from settlement north to the next magnet, you can take it to right here. If you wanted to squeeze, fine, you would have gotten 35 ticks out of this or something by just trailing your stop up here. But 30 ticks, easy. What do we know when it puts in a high of the day like this and backs off a little bit? Just give it some time. It'll go back down here, find its spot, and when you see this great big candle coming up here, then we're still in a northbound. Look at your EMA right here. It's not telling you anything any different. So you can take it again from the magnet.
Order filled.
Up to the deviation, another 30 ticks. Then we get a good apex E right here. But this business right here is really a little iffy. But there's a lot of traffic here. It was the high of the day, the high of the prior day, the deviation, and a magnet. So you can expect this to hop around in here. But when it forms the E and you've got the P bar right here, and if you also are looking at this chart, you're going to see a trend catcher right there at the top of that. That's at about 9:30-ish, right in here. Yeah, you saw a trend catcher confirmation form right here. So even if you're very conservative and you're waiting till it comes through the deviation, and the high of last session, but you have a lot of things telling you right here to take this northbound at one of these little streets. But then where is it going to go? Well, it's going to go, there's a lot of momentum in here, and I've refreshed this chart so the volume isn't on here on this one, but there was volume in here. And so this major magnet right here, there's a little magnet and a major magnet, no problem. So then you've collected another 40 ticks. Then the next one comes along right here. You know, with all these streets right here, this is going to fiddle around and fiddle around. The bus driver's going to have to decide what he wants to do. But again, you got a signal off of this P bar on trend catcher. If you check that, because that's what they do. I'm not sure where it was, but anyway, then if you take it off of this E and there's a magnet, this is a great, you could have taken a more aggressive entry down here off this P bar, but if you just took it off of the magnet, take it, what do we know about the crude oil bus drivers? They love the top of the range channel. So if you just sat back, put your take profit up here and let it go, you will get taken to the top of that range channel. The only thing is, once it clears this major magnet, and so this is going to be typical, and this is what Lori calls her, I get the elevator, this is the slingshot one. So then you go along, you've got plenty of ticks for your tick bank at this point. And yes, you can take these up and down, but be careful of an E with an X right on top of the same bar. That's not necessarily such a good idea. Wait for the good ones. Picky. Get picky. You could have taken an aggressive entry off of this P, but even if you took it off of the deviation to this major magnet right here, you can also take this. Just a second, please. I'm sorry. Sorry about the phone. You could take it coming down from here, down to the magnet. That would be, this is from 50 down to 20. That's another 30 ticks. So if you are not trying to, you know, shoot for the moon, and you can take 30 ticks, 20 ticks, 30 ticks, and then let your runners, the real winners, run. This makes a really relaxing, easy way to trade. The whole thing is green. You know this bus driver is going to the north side of town today. Everything's green. It's well above the EMA. And this, I like to confirm these entries with the trend catcher. I just can't put too much stuff on the same chart, because then I get so mixed up and so crazy I can't make a decision. There's too many things. But if you can glance up at this and get your trend catchers, those help. And then if you want to, you're asking yourself, well, should I stay in the trend? I think these trend bands are really useful. Okay, so I hope that helps. Let's see, which chart have you been referring to? It is the 519 tick shadow bars, where the ones I have marked here. If you'd like, I shot these trades, and I'll put them in the room, and you can grab them so you can study them later. But my whole point is that you can see this was so easy to see today. And then you'll, if you can study the ones I marked, then what you need to do is take your own chart and mark it so you learn to associate some of these signals with your charts and your colors and how your eyes see things, because it doesn't get any better trading crude oil than this. This is really, really nice. So if we have any gold spread traders in here today, you sure had a nice opportunity for Nadex spread on gold this morning. The commodities tend to run together, and they tend to run opposite the dollar. But the indices have come down, and TF has led the way on that charge. But at least after the Canadian dollar didn't much like the news this morning, it got a little happier after that. And that's always a good thing. So the other thing of interest, if you're a crude oil trader, is that Brent went up and it's hit almost 52. It was one tick off 52 today. So that will help keep this WTI that we trade hopefully on the north side of town for a little while.
Order filled.
Tomorrow is going to be inventory report. So don't get in your head tomorrow that just because crude oil had this great run this morning, which it may chop around this afternoon. That's typical of what it does with really good trends in the morning. It may chop in the afternoon, but don't decide that just because it went really, really well this morning, that tomorrow it's going to keep going north. It may, and then on the other hand, it may not too. You have to start with your brain in neutral every single day. So with that, that's about all I see. The VIX that I monitor all the time is around 20 right now. So we'll see what it decides to do. It comes down, it's hovering right around 20. So that is, this has been my view from my world in Apex land. And this is brought to you by Apex Investing. I'll see you about 2:30 and we'll review the afternoon. Thanks.